Morning.
Morning.
Random questions.
Yep.
Bit of a mix, kind of related.
Yep.
The first one is, what are early signs that parents, caregivers and early childhood educators be looking for symptoms for neurodiverse conditions?
Okay. It's really difficult in some respects. For example, if it's a parent's first child, they really don't have a benchmark for what is development of normal milestones and what is not. And given the fact that normal milestones can be reached and there will still be, can still be a diagnosis of neurodiversity, autism, ADHD, etc. Now, ADHD doesn't come into that when there's a diagnosis of neurodiversity. So it's really hard, and ADHD kind of comes a little bit later as well. If you're not sure, go see your GP first. If your gut instinct as a parent tells you, I'm not sure if everything is okay, go and ask. The one thing in my experience that always proves accurate is a parent's gut instinct. As far as an early educator, educators are not trained to diagnose. But what we can do as educators, and we need to do as educators, is look at, okay, this young person seems to be having difficulty socially, emotionally, academically, whatever it is, and then say, what could the possible reasons be? Is it because I need to change the way I'm presenting the learning for the learner? Have I done that and there's still some concerns? Then it is our duty to have a conversation with those parents and say, look, could be absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But it wouldn't hurt to just tick off that we've checked other things.
And there are some definite signs, especially like the first time mums. Yeah. I mean, we don't even realise sometimes as first time mums that our child is stimming at such a very young age.
Look,
lining up of toys. Trouble sleeping,
eating, difficulty with different textures, noises, fear of something. I remember,
and you can definitely see that, like for our kids especially, it was shopping centres. I remember one of my grandchildren. It was passing by a particular shop that had a TV and always had a particular show on, and terrified this young person, absolutely terrified, to the point where we realised if we carried this young person, let them put their head in our in the crook of our neck and hold them tight till we passed right past, and then was happy to go on again. So there will be signs like that, but if there are anything, those signs could also be nothing.
And those signs could be nothing, absolutely. And that's why you go have a conversation. Always have a conversation. Now, as far as early educators, one of the things that happens to some of our young people is parents go and have a discussion, or carers go have a discussion with early educators and say, look, I'm looking at looking at taking them to get further answers in relation to this. I'm suspecting there may be. The one thing that an educator should never do is say, no, can't see it. You're not trained to diagnose.
That is actually a really good point, and it is really, really frustrating because out of our 6 grandkids, my youngest is pretty high on the ADHD spectrum, right?
Yes.
Isn't she?
Yes.
Pretty full on. Now, she's in grade 1. I asked her grade 3 teacher, do you suspect her to be on...
Grade 1?
She's in grade 1 now?
Yeah.
Do I have to tell you that?
She's your granddaughter, for God's
No,
sake.
no, you said I asked her grade 3 teacher.
Oh, sorry, her 3-year-old kinder teacher.
Yeah.
Do you suspect ADHD? It runs in the family. And I got told, no way. Her kinder teacher, 4-year-old kinder, no. Her 2 prep teachers, no, don't see it. Her grade 1 teacher, who is a little bit more experienced, first thing she approached me with is, oh yeah, yep, she definitely displays her symptoms at school as well as at home. That was frustrating when I was like looking for, like, I knew something wasn't right and needed obviously school or kinder backup for, you know, diagnosis reasons, and there was a no straight away, no.
Yeah, and you know, when parents come, and I know this is true for you, Amanda, when parents come to talk to educators to see what the behaviour manifests like in those contexts.
Of course, because any child behaves differently to at school.
Yeah,
so when you're trying to gauge what they're like at school.
Yeah, but the thing is, what an educator should not say is, no, it doesn't happen. Because that's too complex. One, as an educator, we are not diagnosticians. So we don't know the intricacies of what needs to be ticked off, if you like, under the DSM-5, which is the diagnostic statistics of mental disorders, which is used by all health practitioners. We don't know what's in there. I have a copy of it, and I have to go through it and go over it and over it and over it again to understand what the diagnostic criteria is. Now, as educators who have never held the book in their hands, how can you say you know it's not there?
And this is the thing. All the things that my little one does has been there since 3-year-old kinder. She's not loud and she's not disruptive. She masks a lot, but she gets up a lot. She takes herself to her locker. She fidgets on the floor. She can't sit still. Now, she's not disrupting anybody else at this point. So the answer was always no. And the reason I need to know is, are there things I can do for her at school so when she comes home, that mask doesn't fall off and I have screaming and crying and a child who takes forever to regulate again because she's been masking all day long at school. So this year she has a teacher who's given her fidget toys for the floor. She's actually given her things to help her so she doesn't crash so hard when she gets out of school.
And it's also because managing ADHD, autism, whatever, tools to help you regulate so that you're able to have a psychological healthy life and achieve what you want to achieve. Those tools and learning those tools need to start early. At year 1, your young person has big emotions and doesn't understand where they're coming from. Now, if we start working with our young people and get them to understand, one, what are emotions, what different emotions look like in us, what does our body do when we're experiencing those big emotions, what can I do when my body is showing me those signs before it gets to that point? And it's a process. It's a zone of proximal development.
I'm talking as a parent here. It is frustrating. When I walk my little person into school, I see the anxiety and fear. She's under my arm. I still have to walk her into the classroom. And what breaks my heart is how brave she is. She still walks into her class on her own, puts her drink bottle down, but because she's not, I'm doing quotation marks, naughty, right? Because she doesn't make a scene, she goes unheard.
Yeah.
But her needs are still there.
Of course.
And if they're not met, she will eventually be making a scene. There is some days school refusal. I mean, you guys have probably seen videos of her under the desk, but it'll be much worse.
As she gets older and the hormones kick in, if she hasn't had a chance to know that it's okay that her mind works differently, not less than, just differently. One of our learning mentors used a way that she talks to young people about ADHD and autism, and they can often co-occur, not always, but sometimes. She spoke to a young person who had both autism and ADHD, and they described them in colours. Autism was her pink brain, ADHD was her purple brain, and sometimes, because she's got both, the purple and the pink mix, and it turns into this other colour which manifests itself in these ways. This young person was really good at understanding that and uses that language to say, oh, my purple brain's in charge today and I'm feeling it, my pink and purple brain are really mixing up, and so I'm getting a lot of to be able to speak and have that visual symbolism of what is happening in their mind. And it's not less than, it's different. It's a different operating system.
We used to use colours with my middle child.
Yeah.
Because his his engine would run red a lot of the time. Yeah. And I would often say to him, listen, you're running a bit red. You need to go and cool down a little bit. And he stimmed a lot when he was younger. And all his emotions manifested as anger. That was the only one he could show. But his stimming and his that kind of triggered me, because I've also got autoimmune part as well as the ADHD. So sometimes I'd have to say to him, listen, I need to go to another room because now my engine is running red. And that's how we would communicate. So we knew there wasn't an issue between him and I, but we used colours to until he was old enough to use language.
Yes. And that's why it's important for educators or extended family or to just dismiss. It could be nothing, there are a million reasons, and you find out, but you don't dismiss it till you investigate. You just, it's too important. That early learning is way too important. That learning about emotions and your body's reaction and different tools you can use to help you with that is really, really important. What are you going to do? Wait till they're year 5 and the teacher says, look, I think you might want to maybe have a discussion with, a doctor about, I don't know. I mean, I used to say when I was in the classroom and things, and I try a few different things, and I would say, you know what? I'm not trained to diagnose. I don't know the intricacies of this. I know a lot more now because I've studied. But back then, when I was in the classroom, I'd say, but it wouldn't hurt to maybe go to get hearing checked, go get eyes checked, go talk to the GP about some of these things that you're concerned. You can tell your GP that I've noticed some things in the classroom, or etc. That this is happening with the learning. Go and have those discussions. It could be absolutely nothing, and the GP will say to you, no, this is just normal milestones, this is normal development, don't worry about it.
But even just in my opinion, even once the GP has said this, if you still think it's not right,
get a second opinion.
No one knows your child like you do.
And I'll go back to where I started. Parents, trust your gut instinct.
100%. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that was a nice quick convo today. 14 minutes.